What's up, geeks? Man, I'm freezing right now. I made a mistake by getting these gloves. I remember watching the Ninja Turtles as a kid, not the animated version, like the real life version. And there was like a homeless guy in New York wearing these gloves, and for some reason I just thought they would be warm. But obviously, common sense would tell you, no, this it won't keep you warm. So I won't make that mistake again. But anyways, in this video, we're going to discuss the reasons how you know you're not ready to be a software developer. So let's get into it. You're not ready to be a software developer when you can't code in front of people. Now, the reason I brought this topic up, I recently had an interview with this company called Ryt, R-H-Y-T, and it's like a camping app, right? So there's like this coding challenge they have you do. And the coding challenge, it isn't any kind of algorithm. They just want you to build a React Native application using their APIs. And they give you, they tell you how they want it to flow, what it should do, etc. And you have free range to basically design the app and build it within that time frame using their APIs. Now, before the interview even started, I told her, I was like, oh, this is gonna be easy. I was like, this is what you need to do? Okay, easy, piece of cake. And she let me know, she's like, there was a girl that interviewed the day before me, and she cried in the middle of the interview. So, I'm sure that this girl, she used React Native at some point in her life, and there's probably a good chance she studied somewhat. My point is that if you want to get hired as a software engineer, you're going to have to code in front of people. You're going to have to do algorithms in front of people, which is why I recommended that you guys get a tutor, because if you have a tutor, at least while you're coding, you can think through the algorithm, and then also you can communicate to your tutor. So your tutor can actually see how you're thinking about tackling an algorithm and can also give you advice on how you should think about attacking that algorithm. Because I promise you, when you have these coding interviews, they're going to ask you why you did what you did, and they're going to try to get an idea of how you think. So get comfortable working coding in front of people, all right? All these companies want to know is if you understand CRUD. That is create, update, delete. They want to know if they give you an API. Can you create a post? Can you read that data using a Git? Can you update that data? And can you delete that data? That's the basic functionality they want to know. And if you don't understand that, I promise you, you will not get hired. The next way you know that you're not ready to be a software developer is if you haven't built a high industry level application. A big mistake, well, something that I hear from recruiters a lot is that everybody has a to-do list. They're either watching the same tutorials or they're, reading the same books or whatever, and they're just copying that. Basics, a to-do list, and all a to-do list does is test your ability to create, read, update, delete. It teaches you how to do that. And if you're gonna if you plan on getting a job, the company knows that you understand the tool that you're using. So to fully understand the tool, they want to know that you understand navigation. You know the different types of navigation. They want to know if you understand all the components within that application. They want to know if you know how to re-render certain screens based off the navigation of that screen or whatnot. They want to know if you know how to add a map to an application. Do you know how to create animations? Do you know how to make custom components? Building something complex makes that company more secure about bringing you on. So I strongly advise you guys to check out my courses, because I don't give you a basic course. So check out my courses, or take a look at read a book, get the basis of that, and then just take a look at an app like Instagram and just make your own Instagram and then deploy it. That's not hard to do. It's hard because you don't know it, but the tools and the skills actually that you need to make it happen, it's not as complex as you think. Now, this could possibly be the number one way you know you're not ready to be a software developer, and that's debugging. When I first started coding, I heard of debugging, and you read in the book, and it's like, oh yeah, I didn't take that chapter as serious because I wasn't actually building something visual. But debugging that's when you can successfully debug your code. That's when you know you're like an intermediate, at least an intermediate engineer. Because you're going to deal with problems throughout your application, and if you don't know how to think through those problems and get to the root of that problem, there's no way that you should be working as a software engineer. The best way to actually get comfortable debugging is to actually do some kind of algorithms. And you want to console log every little step that you do. You want to get a feel for how the data should look, step through step through step. Because that's what basically debugging is. Debugging, when you're building some kind of application, you're going to get errors somewhere within that application. You're expecting something to happen that will not happen. And you need to understand how the application actually thinks, how the computer thinks, and how it works. Because if you can track, okay, the problem's happening here. So I know the problem's happening here, or if I'm not getting data here, something must have happened somewhere along here. So I have to keep tracking my steps until I get to the root of that problem. If you can successfully do that, then you know you're ready to be a software developer. And the last way I know that you are not ready to be a software developer is if you can't do algorithms. Now, there's going to be medium level algorithms, hard level algorithms, easy algorithms, and the easy ones aren't even easy. But you need to at least, I think, at least on a website like LeetCode or HackerRank, you need to be able to do the easy ones. You need to be able to take a piece of data, see what the algorithm wants you to do, and then to get that data to return in the correct format. I promise you, when you're working with APIs, maybe you are a back-end developer. Maybe maybe you're a back-end developer, so you get a lot of practice working on algorithms. I know I did that. At my last job, I was a mobile dev, but they had me work on the APIs for a few applications. So because of that, I was always grabbing data from the database, and I was manipulating that data, and then I sent that data to the front end of the application. So I got a lot of practice that way. But not every back-end developer is going to do that. I've worked with back-end developers, and they don't do anything. All they do is query the data from the database, and they send it to you. And they want you to do all the data manipulation on the front end. Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's not. I mean, if you can query the data in the right format, awesome. Some developers don't even know how to do that. But if they can query the data, and they know how to create a good relational database, if you're a developer listening to this, you know that some people make shitty databases. But let's just say that, yeah, if they're able to query the information and get the correct information on the query, then there's not much you're going to have to do on the front end. But in most cases, a lot of people don't have professional DBs building out their databases. A lot of companies don't. So you're going to have to take whatever data you're given and configure that data to look a certain way and show on the front end application. And I see that can take a long time. So my biggest advice to you is to study algorithms and just to get a tutor. Some light just came on. But anyways, guys, that was it for this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.